When it comes to entering and editing data into Excel, a wonderful data input tool to create basic lists of months of the year, days of the week, and other basic lists is the Autofill handle. Let's say I want to organize some information by month, so I'll type January here. Now, if you didn't know about the Autofill handle, the way you'd get the other months is you just keep typing, right? February, March, April, May, June, and so on. You could also, if you had another file open that already had the months typed in, you could just copy and paste the months from the other document or the other spreadsheet. But with the Autofill handle, it's actually much easier to get the other months out there. All you have to do is highlight January. The Autofill handle is this little box in the lower right-hand corner of the marquee. If you click and drag that over, you'll get the rest of the months of the year. If you click and drag the Autofill handle down, it will fill the months forward. If you click and drag the Autofill handle up, it will actually go backwards through the months as it would if you pulled it to the left. So the Autofill handle is starting to look pretty cool, right? If you wanted, for example, the days of the week, you could type Sunday, click and drag the Autofill handle down, and you can get the other days of the week there. Now, Autofill also works with numbers, but a little bit differently. The default with numbers when you pull Autofill is to actually copy the number. But if you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's a very easy thing to fix. There's actually 3 ways to do it. First of all, if I put the number 1 in there, and then I pull the Autofill handle down, you'll see the default is to copy the number. But if I go down to the Autofill options box, which is a magical little box that appears in the lower right-hand corner of the auto-filled range, right after you autofill the range, if you click on that box, and right down in here, you can actually change the default. So I'm going to change it from copy cells to fill series. And there's my series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the other ways to do it are you can put the number 1 and the number 2 in, just the first 2 numbers of the series, highlight them both, click and drag the autofill handle, and it will continue that series. And yet another way to do it is with the control key. If you hold the control key while you're doing autofill or clicking and dragging on the autofill handle, it will actually do the opposite of its program default. So the opposite of the default with numbers is to copy the number. So the opposite of the default would be to fill the series. So if I put the number 1 in and then hold the control key while I pull the autofill handle, it will actually fill the series. Now the same works in reverse with labels. So if I actually put January in here, and I want 7 Januaries in this case, I don't want January, February, March, April, May, June, and July. So I'll just hold the control key while I pull the autofill handle, and it will copy instead of fill series. So what I would do if I were you, and seeing the initial magic in this particular tool, is I would actually go out and try it. Open up a blank sheet, try it with numbers, try it with different series. Look, you can do different series of numbers, like odd numbers, 1, 3, like you want odd numbers, right? So highlight both of those, pull the autofill handle down, and it will continue with the numbers. You can do it with different series of numbers, like 30, 60, 90. Do it with 30, and then 60, and let's say you want to sequence these 30, 60, 90, and so on. Highlight both of those and drag it down. Hey, and you know what? The autofill handle also works with dates. Now there's a keyboard shortcut to quickly put today's date into a cell. Let's say you want to do that and then you want to make a daily schedule. So check this out. The keyboard shortcut for current date is hold the control key and then hit semicolon. When you do that, you'll put today's date in the cell. Now, if you autofill that, what you do is you get the date basically sequenced by day. And you say, hey Rob, that's cool, I really love that, but I don't schedule stuff on the weekend, so I actually want to exclude the weekend days. Well, check it out. With dates, one of the autofill options is to just fill the weekdays, or just fill that day in the month, or just fill that day in the year. So you have lots of basic autofill options when it comes to dates. There's another keyboard shortcut. You might like this one as well. Let me just go ahead and show you that one now. There's a keyboard shortcut to put the current time in the cell. That actually is Control-Shift semicolon. Now, when you pull the autofill handle on time, the basic sequence is to sequence it by hour, which is probably something you'd want or have a use for if you're creating a schedule. And so the autofill handle is useful in that way as well. So explore this, try it. Go out to a blank worksheet, try different lists. Try it with the control key, without the control key. Try putting a couple of things in and then dragging the autofill handle and see what happens. I think you're going to find once you get smooth with it, it's going to make basic setup of a brand new worksheet a lot easier.